Hello Tubesters, it's me Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today it's a response to this tagged thing that's going around at the moment. I was kindly nominated by Reese from Busy Bristles and Stephen Smith, or I was called Steph. You're both really kind of you to think of me and put myself forward. Two great channels, go and check them out. You probably know them anyway, but Reese, I always hate saying young bloke because I just over the 50 mark now. Everybody's young these days. He likes his history like me. He likes his painting like me. Yeah, big strong war gamer, not like me, but and it's nice to see him progress with his painting. It's nice to see him progress in life, really. I mean, he's just graduated from university and he's doing teacher training, I believe, now. So he really is the future. I thought garlic bread was the future, but it turns out it's Reese. So the other guy, Steph, from the dim and distant days of my time on Tabletop Commanders, it seems a lifetime ago now, he's always been value to sit along and paint with. Hugely knowledgeable. He passes it off a lot with humour, but the guy really is, he knows a lot of the minutiae details of history, and like myself, loves his painting, and he can also go off into genres of fantasy, sci-fi, and whatever else takes his fancy. I get lost on the battle reports, Steph. You know what I'm like with battle reports, but I'm always there for the painting. He's just an all-round nice guy, and that's typical of him to put me forward. Now, guys, I've struggled to make this video. When Reese put it forward, I obviously acknowledged him, and I wasn't going to do it. And then Steph kindly outed me as well, and I'm thinking, well, we're all part of this little community, whether it's painting, wargaming, modelling, which I tend to straddle all those type of genres, and my hobbies, they're a huge part of me. I can't believe I'm gonna say this on a video on YouTube, but some of the guys know already that I sometimes converse with on Skype, that I've met through YouTube. I've got severe mental health problems, really severe at times, and my hobbies, they mean a lot to me. They literally, keep me in the fight, and you see me churning, lots of painting out, and it's because I'm mainly sit at my table painting all day when I'm not taking one of my dogs out. So I was a bit having to break cover. I could have just bluffed my case for you guys and said, this is my hobby, this is my hobby, this is my hobby. But I hear people talk in the comments, and sometimes hobbies just are something to relax, something to sometimes you just fall into them, whereas as for me, they really are important. It's what I do to keep me going, if that makes sense. And the reason it's been hard to say, I'm going to go to a hobby that I've only recently given up, and that is beating and training my dogs. I had 2 dogs, and working Cocker Spaniels. I'd never had dogs before. I went to some game fairs with my wife, and I was going to take up clay pigeon shooting and realised how hellishly expensive it can be, and there wasn't anywhere particularly near me, and I didn't continue with that. But I saw these little spaniels being walked past me, doing trialing events and things like that. And I decided I really wanted one of these little dogs, and I kept pestering my wife, and on my 41st birthday, I think, well, not former birthday, but you know, she said, have your dog, I can't stand the pestering any longer. And I got a little black spaniel called Barkley, and he's recently passed away. Sorry guys, I've had to do this a few times. And he was my best friend. And I trained him from a pup with a whistle in one hand and a book in the other. No idea. I went to a professional gun dog trainer in the end who trained me quite well. And we had 10 years together. And we're both getting a bit past it. I've got a younger one, 8-year-old. Barkley passed away in March, say 10. And I've got Archie, who's 8. But he's more my wife's dog. I train him, I take him out and that, but he loved my wife to bits. But Barkley never used to be far from my side, literally. You know, when I used to go to work in the old days, he'd go to work with me. I used to work outside, and all through my time painting, he's been with his head on my foot or on his blanket next to me. And it's been hard, as this video is probably showing, being without him. But that little fella was a huge part of my life, and I know a lot of you guys won't be into, you know, using dogs in the field, shooting birds, type of thing. I understand that. I'm not going to knock you for that. But we were just best of pals, and we can't do that anymore. So yeah, that's my first one. Beating around the bush, literally. Is my dogs. I train them on the whistle. I work them on dummies. Worked them in the field on game. And my own, apart from my own mental health, my body after 30 odd years of manual labour has fallen apart, and I had to give up beating because I just couldn't even climb up over the fences and go through the hedges like I would have been able to in the old days. And but that was a huge part of my life, training to go out into the field in the season through the winter time, and just being with my dog. I didn't even have to be with anybody else, you know, just with my dog, and Arch when I used to take Arch out. So that's my hobby, which up until about 2 or 3 years ago I did regularly. My second hobby is figure painting, as we all know. I paint figures for, well, I call it a living, but I paint figures to, you know, supplement our income as I sit at home all day. And figure paint's been with me, you know, all my life, you know, since I was a kid. I enjoy all the scales, as we all know. I really enjoy large scale figure painting. I don't do a lot of it because it's trying to fit everything in, but I really enjoy that side of it. I enjoy seeing figures come together. Large, it can be 10mm, it can be 90mm, it can be busts, doesn't matter. I just enjoy seeing them come together, and you know, sometimes just seeing where the paint takes you. I'm painting some elephants at the moment for Mick. You won't believe where that's taking me, Mick, at the moment. You'll regret saying fill your boots, do what you like on them. Anyway, so figure painting I really enjoy. The other one which I've got into recently, which I did up until I was 20, now, what was it? I think I'm 52 next year. Then my other one is scale modelling. I've always been a fan of scale modelling, even when I wasn't doing it. You know, on YouTube, I've watched everybody else's videos, and again, it takes me, because of my head problems, it puts me in a good place. Most of the time, if you saw that starfight, that always did push me over the edge. But I don't need much help, believe me. But I enjoyed the starfighter. It just, you know, I've got to learn that you're not going to be like a lot of these guys on YouTube overnight. It's just like figure painting. It takes time. Maybe I might never get there, but I'll enjoy the ride. I really enjoy modelling. I love the world in miniature when it comes to military figures, military aviation, vehicles. I love my ships, and I also love civilian airliners as well. Who'd have thought that? So they're my main, enjoyment out of modelling side of it, and I've had a lot of pleasure over the years watching people's channels and seeing some of the really high quality stuff that's put out there. So they're my main three hobbies. Yes, I had to include the beating and the gun dog working. I know I don't do it now, but I needed to say something about all three hobbies. What hobby can do for somebody who is struggling, whether that's somebody struggling mentally, somebody struggling with illness, and somebody struggling with disabilities. You know, it really can be a game changer in that person's life. And you know, we can all, not that saying guys are saying glibly on the on their videos, you know, I do this, I do that, but it really can make a difference to somebody. I'd just like to say, you know, I mean, again, people have been saying music and stuff like that. Again, I'm not a big music person, really. The only other things, I'm looking at my little list here, sorry to keep looking that way. I love Japanese art. I always have done since I was a youngster. Don't ask me how. I think it was Stephen Turnbull's books. If you ever remember the first Samurai hardback, I bought it in a cheap bookshop because I wouldn't be able to afford it any other way. Back when I must have been about 15, 16, 17, and it got Japanese woodcuts in there of samurais, and it doesn't have to be samurais. I just like landscapes, and I just love Japanese woodcuts and Japanese art in general. I've always wanted to visit Japan. Probably never going to now, but I visit Japan through the joy of a computer. So that's my other thing, apart from reading, obviously, is I'm a huge fan of the artist Hokusai and his 36 views of Mount Fuji and all the other work he's done he did over the years. It's long past. So so that's my hobbies in a I was going to say in a nutshell, but it hasn't really been. It's a classic Gav video, this, isn't it? I just wanted to say a couple of thank yous. I broke cover about my mental health. I didn't really want to do it. Don't worry, guys, for you two that nominated me. You haven't not the cause of this, but I was just touched that you'd thought enough about me to put me forward. So I thought, no, I've got to do it. I just want to thank, no particular order, my mate Mick, the MGH 1736. Again, behind the scenes, helping me out again. In all different ways. I ain't going to go into it, but thank you very much, Mick. Paul Alba, again going back to the days of Tabletop Commanders, and even up to only the other week I was on the text to him, and he sent me some books down. Iain, the Diomede, again that's going back to Tabletop Commanders days, but Iain sent me some books again, just random act of kindness. Didn't know anything about my mental health or anything like that, and I actually emailed him back saying thank you very much. They arrived on a really bad day and they meant a hell of a lot, and it's little things like that that really pick somebody up. Iain Aitken, same thing. Random act of kindness, sent me some figures so I could do a tutorial on. Thought I was going to get one figure, and I got a fair amount of brand new figures in bags. Again, Iain, random act of kindness. It amazes me sometimes. We get the haters on YouTube. You can't help that. You're always going to get them. We put ourselves up like coconuts, get knocked down. You just have to brush that off. You get people bumping their gums over. They don't like one video or another video, and why. I don't get it myself really. But all the negative stuff that's out there and that people come up with, there are just people going around doing random acts of kindness which can make a huge difference to another person, and that's all through this YouTube. And I for one really appreciate it. So after this huge big diatribe, let's get down to who I tag. Now again, as Reese had said on his video, there's no pressure to do this one little bit. You can or you can't. It's got to be Mick, MGH 1736 channel. Again, good mate of mine. We occasionally speak on Skype, and he doesn't put a lot of videos up. But when they do, they're always good quality, and they're always something to enjoy watching. A lot of good eye candy. Iain Aitken. Iain, not so much historicals. It's more the Harry Potter series of figures. He does loads of tutorials on Harry Potter figures. He loves his superhero figures. And what I would say with Iain's channel is, because he's teaching you how to paint a Harry Potter figure, don't think you have to use it to paint a Harry Potter figure. Go away and paint a World War II German. Maybe not like Harry Potter, but you can use the techniques, cracking painter, really admire his work. And he's been, as I say, he's also been a great help. Greg of Greg's Models. I haven't probably been, was it last 6 months or so, maybe longer, I don't know, me and Greg have been subbed to each other. I don't care if Greg ever, which he does comment on my stuff, but I don't care if he comments, if he was even subbed to me, it doesn't matter. I really enjoy his work. I love his presenting style and his willingness to share his knowledge with the rest of us, and his problem solving. He hasn't got a lot of subscribers, and I don't understand it. I would ask you to go and sub to Greg of Greg's Modelling, because it's a fantastic channel, and you'll enjoy what you see there. Now I know you're supposed to have 3, but I also wanted to have a 4th, because I don't know if any of these guys have either been tagged or if they're even going to want to do it. And this is Joachim of Joachim. I'm going to butcher this now. Of jorama Modellbau. I've probably got that all wrong, Joachim, and please take my apologies. I've hardly been subbed to Joachim for very long, but he's another guy who, like me, seems to like the world in miniature, and I really like what he does. He doesn't do huge amounts of videos. They're not always very long. Make them longer, Joachim. I like them. Same to you, Greg, on that one. I've said that for you on that one before as well. But Joachim, I'd really like to, I know English isn't your first language. I don't care if it's in German. Put a video up and I'll put the what they call it, the thing that I'll understand what you're saying anyway. But if you'd like to do that, I'd like to listen to your thoughts on things. So guys, thank you very, very much. If this is, again, everybody else has been doing 5 minutes and 7 minutes. As I say, I didn't really want to go into the things I've gone on about, but I wanted to just make a statement really on how your hobbies and the people you meet through your hobbies can have a big effect on your life, and I thought I really wanted to say that really. So thanks guys for listening, thanks guys for the nomination, and thank you for really making somebody who stays at his desk literally most of his life, making just through the sitting there looking at that laptop, looking at YouTube, watching your videos, it keeps me going. So thank you very much. So you take care of yourselves, and as usual we'll see each other soon on another video. Cheers.